Hey there, I'm so glad you grabbed the Executive Job Search Roadmap because I've got a little surprise for you that's going to make it even more powerful. You didn't just download a guide, you unlocked the exact framework I use with my private clients to help them land high level roles that align with their values, leadership style, and their next big career move. Now, here's something I've seen over and over again. If you've always relied on your reputation, your referrals, or that tap on the shoulder, it can feel frustrating when things go quiet. You're thinking, I shouldn't have to apply. I've earned my spot. And you have. But at the executive level, your experience isn't enough anymore. Not because you're not qualified, but because the game has changed. If your positioning isn't evolving with you, the right people simply won't see you. That's why I created this bonus video to walk you through how to actually use this roadmap like the strategic leader you are. Inside, I'll show you what to focus on first before you touch your resume or LinkedIn, how to reactivate your network without feeling like you're begging for help, and how to position yourself so people know you're ready for your next opportunity even before you say a word. And just below this video, you'll see a special limited time opportunity to grab my LinkedIn, because if you're showing up online the way you always have, but the right roles aren't showing up for you anymore, your messaging needs an update. This bundle walks you through exactly how to reposition your profile, your content, your digital presence, so decision makers and recruiters can clearly see the executive you are today, not who you were 5 years ago. It's simple, it's strategic, and it's only available here. So go ahead and watch the video. If it resonates, grab the bundle while it's still available. You've already done the hard work. Now it's time to make sure the right people see it, because you're not here to be overlooked. You're here to lead. When LinkedIn invited me to join their Career Talks podcast with senior editor Andrew Seaman, I knew exactly what I had to talk about: the job search dichotomy. Because even when you've been building teams for decades, even when you've led hiring decisions, reviewed resumes, and sat across the table from executive level candidates, something shifts when the search is suddenly about you. And that's what makes this part of the process so disorientating. You understand hiring at a high level, but now that you're the one looking, the whole system feels backwards. And you're not wrong. The way employers fill roles and the way executives look for roles are often complete opposite. I call this the job search dichotomy, and it's one of the biggest reasons great leaders get overlooked. So if it's felt frustrating lately, like you're doing the right thing, sending the right signals, not gaining traction, you're probably not imagining it. It's not you, it's the system. But the good news is you don't have to fight against the system. When your network isn't referring you and executive recruiters are knocking at your door like they used to, you need a new approach, one that puts you back in the driver's seat, not just applying harder, not just updating your resume again, but activating a strategy that aligns with how hiring actually happens at your level. Let me show you what that looks like. Because when most executives hit the job market, they default to what's familiar. Update the resume, scroll job boards, send out a few applications, maybe reach out to a recruiter or two. It's not wrong, it's just reactive. It's a response to the pressure needing something now. But the leaders that land aligned, high-level roles today, they're approaching their job search like they would any strategic initiative, with intention, research, visibility, and execution. That's the difference between a reactive strategy and a proactive one. If you're navigating a career transition right now, you need both, because when time and energy are limited, the smartest thing you can do is have a diversified job search strategy, one that gets you in motion today and sets you up for being seen tomorrow. You've got the roadmap in hand and this bonus training to help you use it strategically. But I'm not just handing you a PDF and sending you off. You'll also get an email series. each message is designed to keep you moving forward with clarity and momentum at every step. So keep an eye on your inbox. And if it's not there in the next few minutes, check your spam or your promotions, because what's coming next could be the shift you've been waiting for. Here's how the executive job search breaks down over 4 weeks. Focused, strategic, and designed to create real traction fast. If you're currently working, you might choose to stretch this out over 6 or even 8 weeks, and that's perfectly fine. This process is designed to be flexible to your schedule and your capacity. But if you're in transition and you have time to stay focused, this timeline gives you a powerful opportunity to stop losing momentum and start regaining control. Because at the executive level, every week out of the market can cost you thousands in missed opportunities. You already know how to lead teams, projects, and transformations. This roadmap is here to help you lead your job search with the same level of clarity and intention. Step 1 is where every powerful job search begins, with clarity. And I know self-assessment might not sound exciting, but this isn't about personality quizzes or fluff. It's about owning who you are as a leader and using that to drive every move you make from here forward. Because if you're not clear on your direction, your goals, your values, how can anyone else be? At the executive level, you already have a track record. What you need now is the language and the positioning that communicates that track record with precision. This is where we define your top leadership competencies, the ones that truly set you apart, career values and non-negotiables. So you don't just land a role, you land the right one. And your leadership statement, a one-sentence anchor that defines your identity, values, and approach. This is the clarity that sharpens everything else in your search. When you know your value and can communicate it clearly, your messaging lands, your network activates, and decision makers pay attention. Because at your level, you're not just competing with other job seekers. You're positioning alongside other leaders. And the most visible, clearly aligned leaders are the ones that are getting tapped first. So please take this step seriously. Clarity isn't a nice to have. It is a competitive edge. Step number 2 is all about market research. And before you tune out thinking this is about keyword searches or job alerts, hold on. This isn't about scanning job boards. This is about getting laser focused on where you want to land, why you belong there, and how to strategically position yourself in that space. Because the reality is most executive roles aren't filled through public postings. They're filled through reputation, relationships, and readiness. So your job isn't to chase listings. It's to understand the market you want to enter before the opportunity is even posted. In this step, I'll walk you through how to identify companies that align with your values and leadership style, how to research trends that signal upcoming leadership needs, and how to map out your strengths to the problems they're already trying to solve. Now, in step 3, this is where we shift from internal clarity to external positioning. Because at the executive level, you're not just evaluated on your resume, you're evaluated on how you show up, your leadership presence, your communication, your relevance. This step is about aligning how you're perceived with the value you actually deliver before you're even invited to the conversation. If your messaging is outdated or too focused on the past, it tells the wrong story, and that's a missed opportunity you may never know about. Executives aren't hired because they're available. They're hired because their value is obvious. So in this step, I'll guide you through repositioning your experience around the impact you're built to deliver next. Crafting messages that's consistent across your resume, LinkedIn, and conversations, and elevating your online presence so that when the right people find you, the value is immediately clear. Because at this level, perception drives opportunities. If you don't define the narrative, others will. This isn't about self-promotion. It's about positioning. You've already earned your reputation. Now it's time to make sure the right doors open. Step number 4 is networking. And if you've held leadership roles, you already know this is how most executive opportunities are filled, not through job boards, but through people, whether it's former colleagues, mentors, or recruiters you haven't spoken to in a while. Relationships are what move opportunities forward at this level, but even the strongest networks can go quiet. So in your guidebook, I break down networking into 4 simple strategies that help you re-engage and expand without burning out. Reignite key relationships. The first one being reigniting key relationships. So you want to reach out to peers, colleagues, or mentors. Offer value first, share an insight, reconnect, or open a door for them. The next is expand your circle intentionally. Not all connections are equal. Be thoughtful about who you engage. Executive recruiters, industry leaders, decision makers at companies that align with your next move. Make networking a habit, not an afterthought, because visibility compounds. Contribute to industry conversations, join executive groups, and stay visible even when you're not actively searching. And lastly, I'm going to be walking you through how to position yourself as a thought leader, how to share insights, speak up on LinkedIn, how to show your expertise in places where other leaders are just watching. Because when you give value, the right people start showing up. You're going to see a pit stop in your guidebook for this step to help you prioritize your contacts and build a plan that fits your bandwidth. And in your inbox, you'll start to receive short coaching emails with mini challenges, just one action at a time. So even on your busiest weeks, you can keep making progress. And if you want to go deeper with scripts, connection strategies, and message frameworks, LinkedIn Mastery shows you exactly how to turn this strategy into real visibility. You don't need to network harder. You need to network smarter with the right people at the right time with the right positioning. That's what this step helps you do. Ironically enough, the next step, step number 5, is about job application. And I know you've already heard me say networking gives you the best ROI, but that doesn't mean you should rule out applying online. Many executive roles do get posted, especially in newly created positions, regional leadership roles, or roles where confidentiality isn't a concern. So when you do apply, do it strategically. Start with warm introductions. A referral moves your application to the top of the list. So check your network before you hit apply. Set job alerts to filter the noise. This isn't about scrolling job boards. Alerts help you spot aligned roles without wasting time on the ones that don't fit your criteria. And of course, track and follow up. Don't disappear after you submit. A thoughtful follow-up with the right hiring manager or recruiter or connection shows executive level intent and professionalism. You'll find a pit stop in your guidebook to help you tighten your criteria, and inside your email series, you'll get prompts to refine your system and stay focused without letting this process take over your life. Now, step number 6 is interview preparation, and this is where an offer is won or lost. At this point, you're not competing on qualifications. You're competing on clarity, confidence, and how well you connect your value to what the company actually needs. Everyone you're up against has an impressive background. But if you put in just 10% more intentional effort than the rest, just like you've done throughout your entire career, you'll show up 100% stronger in the room. In this guidebook, you'll see 4 core moves top performers use to seal a deal. The first one is deeply research the company's business priorities. Don't just skim their website. Look for press releases, investor calls, strategic initiatives. Position your answers in the context to what matters to them right now. The second is position your stories using rev points. What is relevant, exceptional, and verifiable? Your career wins only matter if they connect to the company's goals. Tie your results to their future success. The third is practice out loud. No elite performer steps onto a stage without rehearsing. If you haven't heard your own stories out loud, you're not ready. And the fourth, ask high-level strategic questions. Don't just answer, lead the conversation. Ask what you need to know if you already had the job. This is how you get remembered. At this level, preparation is your edge. And just like you've done throughout your entire career, when you go 10% above average, you show up 100% stronger. That's how you win the interview room. And then step number 7 is follow-up. And if it's been a while since you've had to job search, this part may catch you off guard. There are great tips in this guidebook and on this slide, how to follow up, when, and even what to say. But advice isn't enough if you don't have a system, because without one, it's too easy to forget who you followed up with, what you said, and when you checked back in. That's where opportunity gets missed. Busy leaders need a simple, repeatable process. Track your outreach, set reminders, know what's open and what needs attention. Your emails will include mini prompts to help keep that momentum, even if your week gets busy. And then finally, step number 8 is negotiation. And this is where everything you've built through this process comes together. Because as you move through interviews, you've already laid the groundwork for negotiations, framing your value through the lens of business outcomes, asking strong strategic questions, and acknowledging the complexity of executive compensation, from base to bonus to equity, performance, and retention structures. Because executive compensation isn't standard or static, it's coordinated. There are executive recruiters, HR business partners, finance teams, senior leaders, all weighing in behind the scenes. And once that offer lands, there's a shift. You're not negotiating against them. You're aligning with them to advocate for a package that reflects your full contribution, base, bonus, equity, long-term impact. Your guidebook walks you through what to review, what to clarify, and how to lead that final conversation. And your coaching emails will prompt you to even evaluate each component, so you respond with confidence, not guesswork. But this isn't just about a number on paper. It's about how the organization sees your role and how you show up to lead it. You're not here to push for more. You're here to frame your value as a leadership investment. That's the shift, and that's how you set the tone for what comes next. That wraps up this mini training, and just by watching, you've already gone further than most people ever do. You didn't just download a free resource. You learned a system, a strategy that helps high-level leaders land roles with clarity, confidence, and alignment. Now it's about momentum. Over the next few weeks, you'll get short coaching emails from me with step-by-step prompts, mindset shifts, and reminders to help you stay focused and keep making progress. Because knowledge alone doesn't land offers, action does. And if you're ready to take the next step, you've got 2 options. If you want to do it yourself with a system that works, check out my LinkedIn Authority Bundle. You'll learn how to position yourself, elevate your presence, and build a high-converting LinkedIn profile that does the heavy lifting for you. If you're ready to land faster and want support, choose the done-for-you path. I'll personally craft your executive resume, optimize your LinkedIn profile, and even provide a month of thought leadership content so you're visible, credible, and pursued. Whatever